7 pairs of skates under $100.
Excuse me, Maryam. Come on. I thought y'all hated each other.
Come on, oh. Let's review some skates, friends. Shout out to the homegirl Maryam. She asked if she can get some advice for an absolute beginner on a budget. Thank you so much for asking this question, because today I got time. I know that I got a lot of you hype about roller skating in my last video. Probably sparked joy in your beautiful heart, and then you went to a website and you were like, I'm gonna cop me some roller skates. And then you saw $300 pairs of roller skates and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that they came this expensive. What is going on? Can they do my taxes? Yes, I know that the sticker is quite scary, but that's okay, because you actually do not need a super expensive pair of skates. You just need a good pair that feels good to you. So today I've got 7 pairs of skates. I'm trying to stay as much in your budget as possible, Maryam. Can't stand when I'm watching like those international house hunters or those house buying shows, and the person will be like, oh, my budget is this. And then the realtor will come back and they'll be like, I know that it's $75,000 over budget, but I thought that you would love this. Like, it defeats the purpose. So I made sure to only get skates under 100 doll hairs. We're gonna give them ratings on a couple different criteria. The first criteria is the value for your money. Is it even worth it for you to buy it in the first place? What's the quality like, the durability? Are you getting goodies inside of the box? All of this will factor into if it's a good value for the money. Number 2 is material quality. What is it made of? Is it gonna last you a while? Are you going to be replacing it? Are the wheels good? Are they inferior quality? Are you immediately going to have to get another pair? You probably will anyway, but are you gonna have to do it rather sooner than later? 3, we have comfort and support. What's the padding like? What are the liners like? Are they too thin? Is there any pinching or poking anywhere? Does it feel like it could support you as a beginner? I love a nice stiff boot. Does it give me that nice stiff supported feeling? Number 4 is gonna be performance, focusing specifically on out of the box performance. Like, can I immediately take these to go skate, or is there going to be some extra stuff that I have to do? Is it super easy to adjust? Am I going to have difficulty as a beginner? Is this going to be intimidating? Are the wheels that come with it better for indoor, or are they better for outdoor? That's going to factor into performance. And then finally, durability. We don't want to hear anything loose or knocking around or shaking or anything like that. Maryam asked specifically that we be able to hold on to these bad boys for at least 6 months. So let's make sure that they are nice and durable. We have these Impala roller skates. They were $61.71, I believe. For my vegan girlies, these are approved vegan. Let's open it up here so you can see. So Impala roller skates, super cute packaging. I've actually heard a lot about Impalas. I've never skated in them, so this is going to be very exciting. They've got details about your extended warranty inside, which is actually pretty cool. Reading fine print. So basically, Impala will, at Impala's option, replace the product, exchange defective parts in the product, or repair the product. I think that having a warranty should get a star in itself. So we're just gonna give it a star automatically for value for your money. Maryam specifically said, hey, I need this to last at least 6 months. And you got a 3-month warranty to help your girl out. So we're gonna give you value right there. Okay. Impalas, they're a fixed bolt toe stop. The plate is nice and weighty, which is good for beginner skaters. So let's go ahead and try these bad boys on. Nice hard outer shell, which is perfect for beginners so that your ankle isn't moving around. It's got kind of a little bit of a thick liner on the inside, but one thing that's important to think about how much extra money that you're going to have to spend making this comfortable. So if you get skates and the inside liner is a little bit thin, just make sure you factor in inserts or insoles into your budget. Right out the bat, I like the way they fit around my ankle. However, I'm not sure that this would be like the best approach for somebody who has wide feet or flat feet. As you can I'm gonna have to like tie this really tight to make sure that the tongue comes all the way down, because right now it's kind of like busting out the sides. Right out the box, I can tell you that I'm not a super huge fan just because I have a wider foot and it's kind of like busting out of the sides. I would have to tie this really, really tight to get it to close, which is fine, but I already like my baby toe is a little bit tough. It might be better if I went a size up, but as it currently stands, they're already kind of like pinching my feet. They feel fine if you don't have flat or wide feet. I do like that the ankle feels nice and supported. Like I feel like I'm not going anywhere, but I'm completely distracted by the fact that my toe is squeezing, so it doesn't even matter how much ankle support I'm getting because my circulation to my toe is getting cut off. Overall, for material quality, I'm gonna give it a 4 mainly because I really like this hard outer shell, which I think is fantastic for new skaters to get that ankle stability. I'm taking a star off because I feel like the way that this is busting out at the seams for a wider foot, eventually this would like start to crack. You'd start to see like little cracks and things like that. Performance out of the box, I really think that the wheels feel good, nice and gummy for both indoor and outdoor. The trucks feel good. You would definitely have to loosen them if you were gonna do some turnings and things like that. And in terms of durability, I'm gonna give it a 5. I don't hear anything like loose or shaking. Comfort and support, I'm gonna give it a 3, but this is just personal preference because if I had thinner feet, this would probably actually bang. Super easy to rock with, so if you have thinner feet, Impalas might be the move for you. We're gonna give it a 4 for the value. You're getting a pair of skates and it comes with a warranty. For material quality, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give it a 3 just because I feel like if you tried to wear this with a wider foot, eventually, because of the way that this material is, it would start to crack your skates. That's only if you have a wider foot. So I guess maybe 3 is a little bit too harsh. I guess 3 if you have a wider foot, 4 if you have a thinner foot. Comfort and support, I really enjoy how tight the feels around my ankle. Overall, for comfort and support, if it were just a little bit wider, it would be perfect for me. Performance, the trucks feel really good. You'll definitely have to loosen them. The wheels are also pretty good outside of the box. I don't see any bending of the eyelets or anything like that. If anything, I'd invest in a stronger pair of laces and quite possibly an insert, but it's all going to be dependent on you. I'm going to go ahead and give these Impalas a thumbs up if you have thin feet. Really can't beat that for 61 bucks. All right, next up we have, I think this is called Papon. It might be Papon. Please reach out to me if I'm butchering the name of your company. I'm so sorry. Papon. And these are $62.99. So we're in the same price point as the Impalas. Say you didn't want anything as loud as the Impalas, this might be the move for you. We have some standard polyurethane wheels. These look like they could probably be used both indoor and outdoor, but I wouldn't go over anything too stressful with it. They got a nice steel plate, which gives that nice weight that is really good for beginners. The boot actually feels surprisingly light. I don't know if that makes sense. The plate itself is weighty, but the boot feels light. Overall, I really dig the padding on the inside. It's a little thinner around the ankle, but it's still very much there. And the insole is also removable. It's kind of thin, but it looks like it would serve its purpose. Again, you can always just like add an insole. Oh, let the record show that I also have thick socks. That might have impacted my Impala experience. This skate actually has a removable toe stop, which is what I like because I like the ability to be able to switch over to jam plugs. I've got these on the Papon. Y'all tell me how it's pronounced, but they feel amazing. Like all of the pain and squishing that I just felt in the Impalas, I do not feel in these bad boys. They're nice and wide and they have like these little holes on the side, which I guess is kind of great if you have like sweaty feet, then it'd be nice and breathable. But these feel amazing, honestly. All right. Okay, To say I'm impressed would be an understatement because these feel damn near as good as my $300 skates, like no cap. I'm not even kidding. They feel great. My ankle feels supported. I could have tied these a little bit tighter. In terms of support, it does feel supported. So let's give it a rating. Value for your money. These bad boys were $62. They come with a removable toe stop. That way, if you wanted to level up, you're not stuck with a fixed one and you could just swap in some jam plugs. So it does not come with a warranty. So if that's like a huge selling point for you, then you don't have those with these ones. But overall, these feel amazing. The material quality, I like that it's hard enough to provide support, but it actually bends with my ankle. So the likelihood of me getting those like little cracks on the side that tend to come in when you're bending forward or you're on like pleather or vinyl, I don't see that happening because it kind of like bends with me. Comfort and support. So in terms of padding, I like the padding around the tongue. Even though the liner is a little bit thin, it still feels comfortable around my foot. And again, I have like a flatter foot. So I'm gonna give it a 5 for comfort. For performance, out of the box, they adjust the trucks on here, but out of the box, they feel amazing. I'm able to maneuver comfortably. I don't hear any sounds that I'm not supposed to be hearing, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5 for performance too. And I'm adding that 5 in because of the adjustability of the toe stop. Like being able to graduate within your boot I think is pretty important. It's 5 for that one. And then in terms of durability, they feel solid. They feel substantial. Again, I really dig that the boot itself feels light, but you still are balanced out by the weight of the actual plate. And looking at the boot being glued, and I don't see anything being pulled apart or anything like that. It's devoid of defects. So overall, like solid skate. Got a really nice thick toe stop also. So $62.99, these Papazons, honestly, these are a steal, and I would definitely recommend them for a beginner who is trying to stay in their budget. I forgot to mention this, but I also think this is kind of cool. There is this little tongue grabber piece on the front, which I think is great to have because it keeps your tongue exactly where it's supposed to be. Definitely recommend. Thumbs up on this, especially if you have a wide foot or a sweaty foot. Next, we have the Cruise XR, and this is from a company called Roller Derby. I actually just realized that two of the other skates that I have came from Roller Derby. #capitalism. The Cruise XR, it's got reinforced ankle support. Doesn't have a ton of padding, but it is reinforced, so it's very like stiff. There is some padding on the tongue. I actually really like this color in contrast with the boots. This one also has a removable toe stop, which is a huge selling point for me because we can level up when we're ready and we're not stuck with the fixed bolt. Super cute, super stylish. I don't know if these give me like artistic roller skater vibes, so I'm here for the aesthetic. So this is gonna be super duper snug. I think if I had thinner socks, I'd probably have an easier go at this, but I like thick socks, so it's important for me to have skates that also support my thick sock love. These shoestrings feel more like sneaker shoestrings, so if you were gonna opt for these ones, I would definitely go ahead and level up your laces. I really like derby laces. The laces are nice and long. I actually really like the way that this one feels also. Even though it doesn't have as much padding as the last one, it still feels really good on my ankle. Feels really supportive. It's giving Cinderella, the way that it just fits so snug on my sock. So these ones actually have a lot more play in the wheels, so I'd be very cautious of that as a beginner. And what I loved in the way that it felt sitting down, I did not enjoy. As I stood up, everything kind of like bunched into my toes, so I could feel that most of my pressure was there. Again, I wear a 6 in men's. If I went a size up, these would probably feel a lot better. So let's talk value. Value for the money. These are $69.99. If you have a thinner foot, I would rock with these and just be very, very cautious of how much play is in these wheels. They go very fast. You could tighten the wheels up a little bit to work on that. Let's see the truck. The trucks are actually pretty loose outside of the box, so I would just be very cautious of that. It does have the little tongue latch for your laces, which I enjoy. I give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4, value for the money. It's a good value for 69 bucks. If you have a thinner foot. If you do not have a thinner foot or you like thick socks, I'd probably pass on this one. In terms of material quality, I do enjoy padding though. So these are standard polyurethane wheels. I would probably change these. Depending on if you were gonna do indoor or outdoor, I probably wouldn't stick with these for too long. So material quality, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3, mainly just because I really think that the only thing lacking from this is just a little bit more padding here. Like I can actually feel pressure on my bone there, and I'm not a huge fan of that. And I guess that kind of ties into comfort as well. These felt fantastic as I was sitting down, but the moment that I stood up, I could feel my weight kind of shift forward. In terms of comfort, I'm gonna give it a 3, but in terms of support, I'm gonna give it a 4. I guess we're just gonna sit pretty at 3.5. 3.5. 3.5 for this one. Performance immediately out of the box, I'm able to kind of play around. I'm gonna give it a 3 just because I think we're talking about the absolute beginner, and I think if they all come out of the box straight like this with this much play in the wheels kind of moving this fast, it could be a little bit overwhelming. And then for durability, I don't feel like anything loose. The boot looks to be glued pretty well. 3 just because I see like not necessarily any pulling, but it's something that I would be worried about, just like the way the glue kind of looks. So just being cautious of that. Overall, I do think that this is a good value. And it sucks to say this if you have a thinner foot, but if you do have a thinner foot, this might be kind of an additional move that you have. Oh man, these felt so good as I was sitting. We're rounding out the 60s. These are the C7 skates, and they are priced at $69.99. Ooh, I'm a huge fan of the color. The color's called matcha. Shout out to my tea drinkers there. I love the way that this boot looks. The color contrast is super cute. I'm a fan, not a fan of the fixed toe stop, but you know, we can make do. I'm digging the padding, I'm digging the thickness, I'm digging the support. These are all thumbs up for me. Again, some polyurethane wheels, 83A, which puts us kind of at a hybrid standpoint. It's right in between indoor and outdoor, so you could probably get away with rocking these wheels indoor or outdoor. So that's a thumbs up. My foot just slides in there, and I really like how thick the tongue is. Oh man, these are so cute. These feel great. For value for the money, what you're getting, $69. These feel as good as the Papons, which are $62. So honestly, with those two so far, those are my top 2 favorite. One thing to be aware of is this vinyl. You notice, because I'm leaning forward and my foot is a little bit wider, it's kind of causing this part to bow out a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a reason to stay away from these skates. They're $60 skates. At the end of the day, you're probably gonna run them into the ground anyway. These are not going to be your skates that are going to last forever. And I think as long as you go into it with that thought process that, hey, I'm learning something to see if I want to stick with it, these would be very good to start on, as long as you just don't get hung up on the fact that eventually this vinyl may start to like crack or something like that. It won't affect your skate. It's just from like an aesthetic standpoint, but I think you'll be fine if you go into it with the mindset of like, one day I'll graduate into some different skates, but right now we need to learn the fundamentals. We need to learn the basics. These bad boys can definitely lead you through it. Overall, in terms of material quality, they do have a very nice feel. I can't see any glue around the edges, which is just kind of important to me. It's kind of petty, but I feel like you can just tell if something is going to stay together longer. In my experience, I have had skates where I could see the glue and it was a matter of time before like they started peeling. So in terms of material quality, let's go and give this maybe a 5. In terms of comfort and support, my ankles feel supported, which is the most important thing to me. Comfort is good. I have had very thick socks on and wide feet. I'm gonna give it a 5 there too. Performance, I was able to move immediately outside of the box. The thing that I'm gonna knock it down for, and again, this is just a personal preference, if this is not a big deal for you, then I guess you could give it a 5-star, is I like adjustability. To be able to take this toe stop off or move it is something that I very, very much enjoy, and I'd like to do that without a hassle, which I found that like the fixed bolt toe stop can kind of be. So I'm giving it a 4 for that. In terms of durability, it's a solid skate. It'll get you to where you need to go, which is able to understand the fundamentals and move freely. Just have to loosen up your trucks. Those also felt pretty good. So I'm gonna give thumbs up on this one. Rated E for everybody. Also bonus points just for being hella cute. Like these are so freaking cute. All right, next up we have another baddie by Roller Derby, the same cats who make the white and blue ones that we just went over. And these are called the Rewind Freestyle Skate. It has an extra padded toe, reinforced heel and toe. Wow. So I'm digging the wheels a lot, and it's got like this cute design. It's nice and hard, but these wheels are kind of smaller, more rounded than any of the skates that we've seen so far. I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of sexy. It's got like this black noir energy to it. Fixed bolt toe stop. This is the first one that we've seen so far that has this type of plate. I want to say it's nylon. Didn't it show us? I'm gonna double check. I think it's nylon. It makes it so incredibly light. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's not get too hyped just because the last one I also felt that way and it was from the same company. But that first, woof, wow. Wow, so far I'm a fan. These are the first ones that I've tried on that even though I'm a 6, it doesn't feel like I'm a tight 6. Like I feel like I have like room to grow in here. Let's talk about these bad boys. They feel great. I'm actually quite impressed. These are $71 skates. If these had been my first pair of skates, then I probably would have stuck with these a lot longer than I stuck with my first pair of skates. The only thing for me is the toe stop. These wheels that it comes with are actually pretty good. I can tell that because they're rounded, they'd be really good for toe spins, but because of this toe stop, it just puts a wrench in the works. Overall, I'm gonna give this a 5 for value of the money, mainly because this is a size 6 and I'm a size 6 and I still felt like it was a little bit roomy for me, which I think is great. It's always nice to have just like a little bit of extra room. The quality, I'm loving the stitching alongside the boot. Like it's very detailed. I'm not a huge fan of logos, but because they're like impressed inside of here, it's not even that big of a deal. So I'm gonna give it a 5. The fact that this plate is so nice, so light is what really does it for me. So if you wanted something that had a lighter boot, I would definitely rock with this one. In terms of comfort and support, it's very, very comfortable because it has that harder outer shell. You're gonna run into the same thing where it's gonna kind of bend outward. But with this quality, honestly, I feel like you probably wouldn't see cracks in this as quickly as some of the other boots. So I'm gonna give it a 5 as well. It felt great immediately out of the box without any adjustments whatsoever, which I think is perfect for a beginner. You're not having to think about things as much. Durability, they look pretty hardy. The only thing that I think affects durability is the fact that it's a nylon plate, which nylon can break. But if you're a beginner, you probably shouldn't be like doing any curb jumps or anything like that, which is what would break it. But honestly, I think this might be our first full across the board 5. Either way, it's tied right now for Papazon. It's tied. Solid boot, definitely recommend, especially if you're looking for something a little bit more low key. You don't want something as loud and as vibrant, then you can definitely rock with this one. Next up, we have Candy Girl, also by Roller Derby. So same as the last ones we took off, and the white and blue ones, same company. except this one is brushed suede, which is a little bit more similar to some of the other mainstream skates that we tend to see. Moxy's, Moonlight rollers, they kind of all have that like suede feel to it, which I'm a huge fan of. These are super cute and the wheels are huge. So just to give you like some perspective, let's look at the last wheels that we took off, how much smaller they are, a little bit more gummy. The fact that these are bigger and more gummy gives you a really solid indicator that they'd be good for outdoors, just so that you can run over all of the dirt and sticks and rocks and all that fun stuff. So +1 for big gummy outdoor wheels. These say all purpose, you could rock with them indoors as well, but I really like their size for outdoor. Fixed bolt toe stop, so for me, it's automatically losing one. You have a nice weighty plate and really pretty cushion. I love the aesthetics of a skate, and the fact that these cushions inside are white, I just think is an extra testament to detail, which is important for me. It's got a nice stiff outside, but it's still soft and pliable, so it's not so rigid that it can't bend, which is usually what we see when things start like to crack, is they're not able to bend, so they crack outward. It doesn't have that. It has a nice thick tongue, and it has a liner that has some give to it. So in terms of shoe comfort, this so far has like the most bells and whistles. I like the thickness of the laces. I went to see the Barbie movie yesterday. I started crying before I even got to the movie. I was crying at the previews just because it was kind of beautiful to see so many different backgrounds all displayed on one screen. Like the first trailer was something for Captain Marvel. There was like a black woman in it. There was an Indian woman in it. And I was just like, wow, this was so incredibly beautiful. Right after that, a trailer for, I think it's called The Blue Beetle, came on, and the lead character was Hispanic. And I was like, this is so incredibly gorgeous. I won't see any of these movies. It's not my style. But it was beautiful to kind of see that much representation. Like, can you imagine how great it is for little kids to see little superheroes that look like them? I don't know. That was just very cute to me. So in terms of value for the money, I'm gonna give these babies 4 stars. 4 stars, 4 stars. So these actually feel pretty good. The only thing, almost feeling the same problem that I had in those, but considerably less. Like my toes are kind of scrunched, but not terribly scrunched. They're not super scrunched. If I went maybe a half size up, I'd probably be fine. If I didn't, I would also be fine. They have great play, great maneuverability immediately outside of the box. The trucks are already loose on here. I can tell they're very like bouncy. In terms of material quality, I really dig the fact that they are suede but still very stiff. So I'm gonna give it a 5 for that. Comfort and support, they are very comfortable. Outside of the fact that I could probably go a half size up. Very comfortable. I won't say that they're the most comfortable. The most comfortable is still rocking with the Elite and the Papon, but these would definitely be third in place. I really liked how the wheels felt. I don't like how they sounded. I don't know if you guys could hear them, but they're very loud wheels. Usually these wheels are pretty loud. Overall, I think that this would be a fantastic option. At $80, there's also a factory warranty with this, so that adds to the value of your money. You can't really beat it if you have a little bit more to splurge and you wanted to get something a little bit more aesthetic. These Candy Girls, I think, would be a super cute addition. Just being very mindful of your toes. If your toes are hurting, just get a bigger skate. Get something else. Do not just rock with your toes in pain. We have already made the agreement that we will not do that to ourselves. We have said it to ourselves that we deserve better than to have scrunched up toes, and we will not do that to ourselves. All right, so next skate. Last and certainly not least, we have the Moxy Rainbow Rider. This is what they look like up close. From an aesthetic standpoint, it's not for me, but this is not for me. I've already got skates. Very bright, very beautiful, very bold coloring. I do dig that it comes with the removable toe stop. I've probably already beat it into you guys 10 times. You know how I feel about the removable toe stops. Just being able to have that flexibility. I like the weight of the plate. And I'm also a huge fan of Moxy plates, so I'm kind of biased already. I also really dig, I don't know if you guys can tell this, but it's very wide. Wider foot, and you can splurge up to $99, I think this one was. $99. This might be the move. This is a very wide. Oh yeah, we just slide in there. It's a little bit of room to spare. Well, we have more than a little bit of room to spare. So if you're somebody who needs some little bit of extra room, this might definitely be the whole entire move. It's also made of that vinyl that's very, very stiff. My first pair of boots was actually Moxy Beach Bunnies, which have that same kind of hard vinyl. And I loved it because it helped me kind of really gain understanding of how to shift my body because my ankle was so secure. They remind me of that show, Steven Universe. Or maybe like Adventure Time, or they've got like midnight gospel energy. Value for the money. I'm only gonna give these a 4, mainly because on their own, I'd probably give them a 5, but because we just skated and we have 2 other skates that are considerably less and had the same, if not a better experience, that's why I'm gonna give it a 4. Material quality, money. Moxy does a really good job at making sure to maintain the quality throughout their boots, which is something that I really, really enjoy. The wheels, I mean, they kind of suck just a little bit, but it's super easy to change out your wheels. I don't really like loud, squeaky wheels. If I was a brand new skater, I'd just pop some like outdoor, maybe some luminous wheels on this bad boy and be good to go. In terms of comfort and support, we did feel very supported. Keeps the ankle nice and stiff. I will note that it wasn't super, super tight. So if you're someone who likes a lot of tightness, you're gonna have to tug to get this bad boy closed, or just make peace with the fact that you'll just have like a little bit of wiggle room, which is not 100% a bad thing at all, especially if you have a larger foot or a larger ankle. I would definitely rock with this because you'll be a lot more comfortable than trying to like shove your foot into something that's completely uncomfortable. There's also a huge toe box. That in itself is a huge selling point. The toe box gives you a considerable amount of space. And then let's talk about performance. Immediately out the jump, you know, the plate feels great. You don't have to adjust too many things immediately outside of the box. You can just go ahead and start skating, but I'm gonna give it a 5, mainly because it has the adjustable toe stop. I like adaptability. So we get extra points for adaptability. And then in terms of durability, again, this is not going anywhere. It has beautiful craftsmanship, beautiful stitching alongside of it. So we'll go ahead and we'll give it a 5 for durability as well. These honestly feel like I could swing them and hit something and like it would like walk it off. Like they are that hardy. So if you're needing something super hardy, or they're one of those people who's just like, I'm gonna tear these skates up, these might be your best move. All right, so that's it. Hopefully it gave you some better insight into what skates might work best for you. My top 3 picks for roller skates under $100 right now are going to be Roller Derby Elite. Fantastic. Next up would be the Papon, both extraordinarily comfortable. An honorable mention be the C7s, and then if you had the ability to splurge, then I would definitely go ahead and just rock with the Rainbow Riders, especially if you are going to require a larger toe box. Hopefully this makes the path to you roller skating that much easier, so that you can experience the joy that can come from you being able to move your body in such a beautiful and fulfilling way. If you have any other questions, let me know. All of the links to these skates will be located in the description box. Let me know some other things that you look for when you're looking for a pair of skates, or some of the things that intimidate you about learning to skate. Either way, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.